Morning, everyone. We're here to do the update. I'll just get the banner off so we can get straight into the update. Have we felt stressed? Have we enjoyed the Scorpio bloody transit? Isn't it great? No, I didn't like it. I got Scorpio on my chart, so of course I didn't like it. Why would I like it? New beginnings, control-related issues, fair. If you were busy... Oh, it depends on the kind of busy, I believe. If you were challenging a wound, you would have been in the thick of it, but it will be positive in the long run. If you were avoiding, it's going to come for you. You can't avoid. That's the thing. With growth, we actually realise the further into ascension we get, that avoiding is futile. And inevitably, it is easier to deal with the elephant in the room than to directly, hi Stella, to directly avoid it permanently. Because, dark night of the soul energy will be coming up. Can individuals be going through this year dark night of the soul? Yes, some can be. Depending on, think back to 2017, if you had an in and out, we're returning to that energy to a degree. It's going to be different. Never, ever do you ever go back into the connection in the same shape or form. If you have actually been stepping back and observing and having a bit of a light bulb moment, it could have been, okay, I don't like the status quo right now. The two things, and I was talking to Giggle about this the other day, is that if you are aware, some of you are talking to them, some of you are not. Acceptance isn't this looks good. Acceptance is this is where I'm at. You then go into, in the acceptance is, I accept the fact that I want more, number one. Then you go into, I accept the fact that this person at this point in time maybe isn't giving me more. That's number two. And then you stand true to the acceptance of what you need. It's not going back on old patterns, going back to enabling. It's this is what I want, and I'm going to create that world so that, like the laws of attraction, I can attract it in. But the problem is we tend to go back into the mindset of we don't have power, that's Scorpio, and then we go back to repeating patterns, and therefore we get the same cake. So there is a bit of a theme coming through at the moment. And look, the transits with Scorpio at the moment are bringing up a lot of our prejudice, a lot of our beliefs, a lot to do with, traditions and betrayals and intimacy and, how we used our power and some of our control-related dynamics that we may have within the past. I'm just getting the cards ready while I'm gas bagging. And then we shall do the super chats after. So we'll try and keep this as informative as possible to see where this joint connection is this week. And yes, sometimes go back and look at the week before because you could be a little bit behind. You could be a little bit ahead. Is it going to ease up this month? Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll look forward to just getting away from that scorpionic energy a bit. But we could also be with the axis of Taurus, have things resurfacing if we're not addressing them. Hi, Dale. I was looking at a video the other day, and this the individual who's an astrologer, he wears these beautiful, bright yellow glasses. I don't know the channel, I'm sorry. Some of you might. But he had a chicken next to him. And the first person I thought about was Lois. Lois likes chickens. Well, Lois has a chicken that thinks it's a human, I swear. Yeah, well, there will be, because Scorpio with weather patterns, it's the sewerage. It's the hidden, great time to be finding hidden truths, finding hidden beliefs. Finding that we have control. I mean, I had to admit to myself over the week, we have control. We all do have control-related dynamics. Just linking where it is and why it's there and empathizing and understanding, but potentially not using it as a weapon and actually using it in a healthier point of just being an awareness, really. Right now, I want to control X, Y, and Z. And, yeah, be aware. Divine Feminine, really? Your card already. Divine Inspiration in reverse. Come on. This could be positive for some of you. It could be you are very 3D at the moment, unable to, get as grounded as you would like, maybe feeling quite blocked psychologically, really getting, that space where you go into, maybe I'm not a TF. Yeah, that thing. Yeah. What twin flame path? Where? I've said it 100 times. You can go to... my readings are based on my psychic experience. I will also use astrology because I have found it as a tool through my ascension process to help me understand myself through those transits and to know what's coming and to know where it's coming. What, where, why, how. We're control freaks, right? Divine Feminine want to know when the ups and downs are coming. So I use that. But I also will give you the tools to get you to your ascension path, to keep grounded, to get your union. Why? Is because if you are looking at tarot readings, it's an energy check-in. But if you believe you don't have power, you're not doing the work. And if you're not doing the work, it's going to be delayed. And you don't want it to be delayed. You want movement. Okay? So that's the principle of this channel. It's to get you from A to B, to get you to where you need to go. There are cycles in a sense. The one thing I have noticed over the last 8 years on YouTube, 8 years, 7 years, 8 years, plus over 25 years on the journey and the coaching of clients is that there is patterns, and those patterns will happen to all of you. At a point, did I believe that it was just synchronistic linking to one wave? Don't believe that at all. Every wave will go through synchronistic patterns till you can purge the ego. Once you purge the ego and you realize where you are, you've learnt the lessons you need, and you're in detachment, you're seeking union. And, the peace and the bliss that you will have, feels so nice. So, who has been avoiding this week? Who's been in avoidance moving through the eclipse? Who used the same old pattern and went into hiding? Did it work? Is there still homework to do? Who felt anger and wounds that was coming up to do with maybe power you have, control you have, wounds that have happened to you? Did you make the cake the same, or did you change that cake? Did you sit with it and say, if I'm the common denominator in this, what part in this do I have? How can I change that pattern to get a different outcome? Okay. Should we get a ruin cast? Do you want a ruin cast? Where's the book? Got the cards out. Now, if you were feeling in the thick of it, everyone is in the thick of it. So would it be wise to go into victim consciousness and say, this person's doing this to me? You can, but can you cope right now? It's like, it's not that it's not, it's that everyone, I can't say everyone, and I did see this back in 2017 and 18. There are those in the world that you will look at and you will think, why can they not feel this energy? Don't worry about it. I literally call them the zombies, and they're not woke yet. They're not woke yet. Do I think that's in the TF path? No, I don't. I'm talking about your stock standard human beings that are quite happy to be, the eat, pray, repeat. They have a different role. They just have a different role. But 90% of the population is going to feel some sort of angst and stress. Okay? So, if you're feeling stressed, your boss is feeling stressed, your kids are feeling stressed, are you going to get the best? It's a bit like going to the shops hungry, hungry, and you're going to buy less. Well, you're going to buy more. So, was it the most opportune time to address certain things? With some things, yes. With some things, no. With some, it's self-awareness, definitely. Definitely saw the Chariot. Oh dear, Mr. Smith program. Anyway, so the ruin cast we have is in reverse. I'm not surprised. and it's horse. I definitely have been seeing the 5s and the 11s. And some of you, if you have been seeing the numbers with 1, like 555, 11, you know, mixed numbers with the 5s, the 6s, the 7s, if they've been jumping through with the 1s, it's saying somehow you are feeling out of alignment in all areas of your life and you're coming back to, but something's missing. If you're also seeing the 1-400, it could mean that you are getting to the grounded state and you need to maintain that. But if you're going back off kilter again and you're seeking outside yourself, you're going to start seeing the number synchronicities again. Okay? Well, that will be very separate. I'd drop that right down and read that number. Because the ones that you really would be seeing initially will be the 555, the 777, you get to a certain stage, you will see the 1-400. You might have been swaying a bit. You might have been coming back into the middle point and then, you know, going back off kilter again. So it was saying to you, no, you're on the right track. Move into detachment. Stay in your lane. Try to not get up here in your head and seek outside yourself. Stop seeking outside yourself. Come back into the core. Come back into who you are. So if there is a particular number and it's in a bunch of combinations, drop it down, go and get that angel number. Listen to that angel number and understand what its message for you is. Separately, were you thinking about that individual, or is it in, and always look at, is it in relation to something I'm going through right now? Because sometimes we being the common denominator means we have something going on that needs addressing. There's no iron team, right? But you've got your side. So it'll be in relation to that, Chris. You need to look at it. You need to understand what it's trying to show you. Okay, so horse and air. And air energy that we're moving into really is going to be both negative and positive. If we have attachment and we're not intuitive, if we're not used to at this point after the Scorpio moon, what we do have to understand is getting used to the uncomfortable. But also learning skills through it that we can jump in the deep end, we can transform, we can face our fears, and we can actually get those things moving. This is going to be relating to intuition, but a lot of you aren't trusting your intuition. And again, during an eclipse, it's a little bit hard. You don't know whether you're sinking or swimming. You're coming up and down. So you're feeling both in your own personal life and linking to the connection very out of sync. Indeed, without a special relationship established between man and horse and domestic and the cattle, the survival of the tribe or group that faces its competition and aggressive neighbors. It can link to Mars. Breaking in a wild horse requires more than brute force, man and beast. And I think really when we do look at Scorpio, we're looking at the dark and the light. We're looking at the hidden situations. You know, taboo subjects can come up where it does come to that scorpionic energy. It can be paranoia. It can be fear of intimacy, fear of control, domination, manipulation. We've got to be careful to break those patterns, but we've also got to be aware of where it is in our circle with whom we're mixing with. Some of you could also get at this point in your life is, you know, do we need to force people to see our side? No. But if we're in our truth and we're saying, hey, this is what I'm actually physically needing out of a contract, a relationship, a partnership, even though it's Mercury retrograde, and doing things that take us to bliss as well as a goal, know what you're fighting for, it's going to help you navigate that situation a lot better. Travel, partnership, marriage, self-control, esoteric meaning. Inner journey, astral projection. Now, it's funny because for divine feminines, you guys actually have the psychic energy in reverse. You know, astral projection. If you're in too much ego, the crown chakra is not going to give you those messages. You're not going to get those downloads properly because too much ego is involved and you're somehow picturing your path in a sort of like a tunnel vision. You're seeing it, but what you're seeing in a visual sense is a block here, a block there, a block there, and the cake's the same. So when you're detaching and you're saying, okay, where I stand right now is what I want, you then are detaching and not, you can call out what the frustrations are. You may, for those of you who are in communication, be able to communicate what you are needing. And then it's about letting go and saying, look, it's not negotiable. This is the way I see things. I can empathize, understand with what's going on with you, but that has nothing to do with me. I know I am moving forward and I know exactly what I want and I'm going to go for it. And so we then are leading by example, but we're also choosing to not stay in stagnancy and we're choosing to do things that are progressing us. We'll get back to your read in a minute, Divine Feminine. So there's some sense of disharmony at the moment in the negotiation, in the ethers, in the 3D. It's bringing it back up to the surface. Recklessness, haste, disharmony, mistrust, betrayals. Yes, I said it will all come back up. Paranoia. Is the person being positive to me? Are they? What if they do it again? The crazy thing is half of us are wanting this situation back. But in facing your shadow, you have to say, if you can't let go of control and you can't be the man and the woman in the connection. You are a team in the connection. It is not your job to be the man and the woman. The man and the woman in your own life, in your destiny and your, sort of like your aspirations, yes. Be it your masculine or feminine, but to have to be that inside of connections, that's karmic-y, because what's going on in the karmic relationships is when a masculine, for instance, actually directly attracts a karmic, it's the base level of what they feel is good enough for them, or it's what they feel their role is. But these transits help them revisit those circumstances to go, does that still resonate with me? That's the good thing about Mercury retrograde. Let me go revisit that again. And does that information still directly relate to me? How have I changed my perception on that situation? It's not for us. I can honestly tell you, trying to convince a person is going to do the polar opposite. You can maybe give some examples of what you've been through, but then they have to find peace, forgiveness, and detachment on it. You can say, you are welcome to go do that, but I may not be hanging out while you're doing that. Then you're in that detachment, and then they need to choose, okay, effectively, is this for me? Do I still believe that? Do I feel I'm actually putting my calling, putting my life on hold? And that's where they then have their closure and they can't blame another person, because, and closure isn't like a bad or a good thing. It could be, wow, I've actually done the best I could do and this isn't resonating with me. So in spiritually addressing that, it wraps up quicker. Do you get what I'm saying? So at the moment, divine feminine and masculine in the joint connection are feeling, okay, for instance, if you were going to communicate, you may communicate prematurely. You may say things you don't really mean. You may think it's not the right timing. A circumstance could be going on. You are aware of disharmony. Issues to do with trust can be coming up, betrayals. You may feel automatically very needy and then very detached and angry. And I mean, we had a really great candid conversation in the members, which if you guys aren't in the membership, come through and join us. We have great candid conversations because in collective consciousness, we will see themes playing out. And in discussing it, because we're not directly involved, we can find forgiveness and harmony. And I don't think a lot of you actually realize the exercise that happened in the members for the attitude towards the king and the queen with the marriage, with the coronation, and the viewpoints of all parties, both past, present, and future, and moving back into the heart sense of where we needed to be in a detached sense. I mean, the twin flame path is the biggest taboo on the planet. So theoretically, if we can reach that peace with that situation there, we can also in our twin flame path have that as well to navigate ourselves and move forward. The dual nature that is revealed in the shape of the glyph is a clue to its nature. It represents the harmony of two coming together as one, horse and rider, which is the chariot. So like I said, I was seeing the ones, but I was seeing the other numbers in relation to the twin flame joint connection. And what I've been noticing with my coaching is a lot of you have been seeing those numbers. And if it's been bouncing, there is somewhere in your psyche that you directly are feeling there is a missing piece. Now, do you feel it's masculine? Potentially. Do you feel it's an answer? Potentially. But there's something off in your psyche of a belief relating to this path. So could it be lack mentality? It could be. We actually have the emotional balance coming up that is directly impacting this path at this point. Could it be the attitudes that we're going into the connection with in our communication style? 100% it could be. Mercury's retrograde. Feeling that, how can the communication come up with Mercury and Taurus? I am communicating because of my anxiety and so many changes I've had to endure. I feel the floor is lava, Scorpio. I feel that it's impacting my wellness, my vibration, and my nerves are taken to the max. So what can we do with that? Be in awareness of that and go, okay, is this going to aid it? Is it going to solve it? Expressing it's necessary, but how you do that is going to be key. You can't also keep pushing your personal needs down. You then in your powerhouse need to say, okay, what is going to be taking me to that bliss so that I can do things that are more pleasurous. And it's also, remember, we do share energy with other people. And it's great that we spiritually do have YouTube, do have memberships, do have those things. But just remember, with such a heavy transit, this vibration will affect a lot of people. So we need to be very intuitive about what we're sharing, how we're sharing it, that we're not, that we're not giving somebody our trash all the time. Do you get what I'm saying? Is this going to be empathetic understanding? How do we know what that person has on their side of the fence? How much do we give, team, okay? Awareness, team, and knowing people's limits at this point, because it is pretty heavy. Okay, this includes partnerships, marriages, success, with their emphasis on trust and loyalty. So there is a question to do with the karmic, I would say. Depending on the direct connection that the relationship, whether your twin is with the karmic or not. Some of you, I do believe, are questioning, is this person with a karmic at this point, especially if they were single for a while. Okay, offerings. You're like, don't give me crumbs. I don't want crumbs. I'm not interested in crumbs. I swear this is quite light. No, it's up. Okay. Felt like it was a bit low. Yeah, I think, I think at the moment, both of you could be feeling, look, are you pulling the wool over my eyes? Is there something I could do to get this path moving? If, you also could be thinking that this person at the moment is being manipulated and therefore you directly are being manipulated because of a circumstance that hasn't wrapped up. I do feel, for those of you that are wanting to go into it to negotiate this deal, you could be personalizing it because you're wanting to have some help from a person, or it could be you're wanting to have that connection, but they may be MIA dealing with a different circumstance. And so you're feeling the inequality, and you're also feeling as though power is being taken from them. Trust me, they will always do what they want to do. If they're embodying that, it's because of where they stand at this point. It won't have anything to do with the karmic. It's permission-based. So if they are with the karmic and they're behaving poorly, it is because of their vibration of frustrations that are happening in their life, and they may accidentally project towards you. So what can you do with that? You can actually say, hey, I'm not a ping pong ball. How can I protect my aura and my energy? But there is this feeling that, you don't want to hear sweet little lies. You want to hear truth. But you've got to co-create that inside the connection so that the openness can start coming up without the judgment. Hear the person out. Listen to anything that's happening. Or for those of you in no communication, again, you do feel at this point it could be just old wounds really resurfacing. To date, a lot of you are feeling as though there has been crappy luck in love, okay? In this direct connection, potentially, yes. Again, look at the pattern. You have all the information of your path. If you sit there and meditate towards all the ins and outs, what patterns were working and what patterns weren't, and you directly can transform that cake, especially if you are finding that there has been a lot of mess in the past in association to this connection. Some of you are just saying, look, am I just accepting the status quo? Is it just going to remain the same? Is it going to be any better than it's ever been? Or is that all in the past? There could be some conflict, and it could be almost paranoia that you're going to hear something, especially for those of you who have heard information through the grapevine during Mercury retrograde. Some of you have fallen off kilter in association to that information, and it's made you feel somehow that your path could be longer. Let's put it that way. It's like something's off, something's not right. Some of you could be saying, why is this person going back into a toxic situation? Why is this person repeating patterns with a toxic situation? Potentially they're saying they're out of it or they're getting out of it. It could be a behavioral pattern or could be a 3D circumstance. But you feel there's this fight, there's this push-pull, especially that is really affecting the joint connection. Oh, I want to go deeper though. There's something here. Okay. Some of them are actually spying on you. Okay, some individuals are coming forward to try and this could be them giving you the opinion of the person. This could be a friend of yours, divine feminine, and you know that they're not saying nice things. This person is evolving and changing. This person could be, for some, transitioning jobs, transitioning roles. Again, I'm still seeing two people here. For some of you, there's two people. So sometimes divine feminine thinks that there is whenever there is a karmic on divine masculine side, there is a karmic on divine feminine side. How does that show up? It can be a memory. It can be something you're haunted to do with in the memory of the connection with you and your twin, or it's a physical person who's on standby for you. And when that's there, the karmic remains. I'm just saying, I've seen it. 25 years of this journey, thousands of coaching lessons. It's coming up in the read. For some of you, you have a backup plan there. Up to you, your call. Especially when we look, invest in it then. Jump in the deep end and completely invest if that's the case. But having two paths there, it's pixelating you. It's making you feel, well, am I trusting my instincts? What am I doing? You generally know. You just generally know. Is this going to be a long-term thing, or is this something to kind of just soothe me, make me feel better? And can we feel pleasure? 100%. Can we be praised or honored or treated like a king or a queen? 100%. But is that something that we directly are seeking outside ourselves instead of doing that inner work? Because if you can't physically see it being something that is going to really be a building that you're going to erect and build and, you know, grow upon, you need to come back to yourself and say, okay, why directly am I attracting this into my life? What is it showing me? Am I afraid to be alone? Am I, whatever that is, because each person's different. Now, I do see here, there is an irritation, especially towards karmic energies, okay? There is an irritation. We can see a pattern, especially for those of you either through the grapevine seeing gossip or directly seeing in this twin flame path. You're looking at it and you're like, there's a lot of conflict here. Some of you have been doing spiritual work on yourself and you're like, okay, when does that ascension process end? It does calm down. Trust me on that one. But there could be, for some of you, resent that is brewing because of this person that is doing absolutely nothing and getting the world. That's what I'm hearing. Getting nothing, doing the world. I do feel for those divine masculines that are going through separations and divorces, the ex could be quite greedy. Could be a very greedy time for those individuals. There could be this push-pull dynamic and a sacrifice that is needing to be made. I do feel a lot of them have made a lot of sacrifices. And so it makes them feel very nervous and apprehensive of what are they going to be coming with? You know, how do they tie up that contractual agreement and then get their vitality back to rebuild yet again? You know, there's a lot of disappointment that is involved in that, especially when you have spent a lifetime with a person. It might not be romantically inclined, but it could be this kind of cycle that one is coming to terms with. It's like, wow, you know, I pinned my hopes on this. It's really not who I am. It's not what I want to be anymore. Divine masculine is finding you very attractive. There is a lot of chemistry. There is a lot of pull towards you. You do tend to find that when you are away from each other for a very long time, you do tend to find that in that cycle, both parties need to come back together again. It's because they actually do get quite fatigued. This card did come up last week, and I do believe we are entering into a brand new cycle. And this is in relation to partnerships, but some of you are feeling, okay, where is DM? Where is this DM? Do I see mess that's playing out? Yes, make sure that you watch the karmic third party read, because I do think something is going down with that. I'm hearing the sound of silence. I definitely feel they're quite run down from this and feeling quite fatigued. Many of them are doing their meditation through work. They also can be keeping super productive and busy. They could be taking a it's like they're not as fun and playful at the moment. There's a serious matter they're addressing. I guarantee I'm going to see divine feminine more and divine masculine's read over here. We're going to get into it, because this seems like there's beliefs and feelings and some dynamic towards work, maybe caring for a karmic and, severing of a contract with children. This could be, like I said, divorces. Do I feel it's a permanency? No. Do I feel that there are things coming up, especially for those of you that are single and in communication? Yes, and I think it's to do with the shadows of the past. Not trusting it. Do I jump in the deep end? How much do I give? Just say to yourself, do I feel I have done everything I can within this lifetime? Or, have I given it my best? And I don't mean, have you been a good or a bad person? I mean, have you tried something different in this circumstance to get a different outcome? If you were completely at that wit sense, you would not be looking at twin flame videos. I'm telling you now. Could you be in wounded warrior princess mode? 100%. It's a very difficult journey. But again, say to yourself, once you're grounded, ask these questions to yourself. Do I feel I've done everything I can within my power? Is that a conversation piece? Is it a statement piece? Is it about finding your bliss while that person is dealing with an elephant in the room, whatever that is, okay? Divine masculine looks sluggish, maybe using pacifiers to cope with stress levels, feeling a little bit insecure, feeling, run down, unmotivated. There could be something to do with family and tribe that is playing out in the moment. Remember, we do have Mars and Cancer. So it could be to do with childhood, children, alimony payments, separations, home, residence. Mars is also issues with mother energies. How can they relate to you? They could want someone who's nurturing. Venus is going to be moving there, but Mars is deemed as in its detriment. So the masculines at the moment aren't going to be operating at their highest octane, not until it moves into the house of Leo. So we had Mars sitting in Gemini for an awful long time. It moved into Cancer. That is going to be moving soon. Once it moves into Leo, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. And I think that's by mid-month. Yeah, look at this. Mental entanglement. Like, it is mindset. What happens when we're stressed? We can't relate. We're not as nice. We're not as gentle. We could have pressures. We could be caring. What's the Cancerian energy, which is solar plexus, moon. Again, Scorpio, it's like life, death, legacies, inheritances, sick relatives. It can be the pressure points of, having to grow up and then attracting individuals in our life and maybe taking them from us, maybe even giving our power away because of empathy and understanding. This has been a stress point for divine masculine. So generally speaking, for those of you who are in communication, when you're trying to correct your foundation and you're burning yourself out, this could have already happened. And what they're doing now is the repair on the direct environment to get their bearings so that they can physically then come up for air and survive. This could be one way it can play out, but this is mental entanglement, okay? This is feeling overwhelmed, feeling like, oh, I need to be this, and, you know, what am I motivated with? Am I motivated with this job? Am I motivated with this karmic connection? Am I motivated with trying when I keep getting slammed back down? So psychologically, they are going to be not really knowing how to fix things. Eagle medicine, can they rise above it? Yeah, they're going to, but sometimes we have to go down to go up. We need to look at the wound to find the solution. I had enough of soulmates. Yeah. Okay. Look, and they were, you know, for some of you, there was a time, and especially for those of you that came back into communication, the person seemed super keen. And I think this would have been more last year. They came back in and it was maybe a statement piece and then they went MIA. In the past, maybe they weren't really ready for that total commitment. Now, that doesn't mean to say they didn't go off and have a commitment with somebody else, but it wasn't with, when you meet the person you know you're going to be with, if you psychologically are not ready, it's a big ask. It's like, oh, this is, you know, I'm going to have to get my life together. I'm going to have to be the whole kitty. Whereas we will generally attract in where we're at. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, well, this is about as good as I can do. So this is where it's at. Did the person see the writing on the wall? Yes. But again, spiritually, psychologically, it was where they were at. And they kind of were like, well, I'm here now. So here we go. This fear of, you know, relationships, it's, do they know that they don't, that you guys don't want a party animal? 100%. Do they know that they needed to get their happiness back? Separation, happiness, then having a connection. So they're sort of looking at a systematic order. They do miss the happiness. They do miss the playful energy within the connection. They can see the difference, especially from chalk and cheese. They do think at the moment that there has been a seriousness that has come through with Divine Feminine, and they miss that playful vibration of who you used to be. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Do they experience jealousy? They are saying yes. And it has come through here as well. They do experience that with you. And sometimes it's coming through in a very odd manner in the way that they are displaying things, okay? So it's not going to be really out there and outright, but it is going to be where they are like, you know, acting a bit nonchalant, like it doesn't really matter, but there's something in their behavioral pattern that is changing, and there is a great value that they have with you. They also know that they do need to clear things out, and they do know when you have experienced that towards them, it's not through control or anything to that degree. It's potentially because of a conflict of interest. You know, spreading yourself too fine, giving power to other individuals and not giving it to where, you know, they want their values back. They want, you know, they do value you very much. You do mean the world to them, but you're also, they know that you want to see that. And so they also do feel this week that you're quite frustrated with the status quo, and that the conflict, I do feel they're having conflict with an individual, but this could be individuals. This could be groups and families. This is getting a little bit messy. They have a set time. They could be talking to some friends about this, about how to navigate it. Some of them could be turning into a mother or a father energy, or a friend for advice. Like, I feel they're getting information from a professional, and this professional can be giving them some advice on how to handle some wealth, okay? This can be wealth-related dynamics. Now, Divine Feminine, you're coming through the gate feeling a bit clouded. Your intuition, you may be getting, for some of you, downloads, and you're like, I don't get it. It could be that you're having these light bulb moments and you're like, okay, wow, that's interesting. Some of you, it could be that you directly are feeling that this ascension is coming from divine masculine only. And my guides are saying, no, look at what is blocking you at the moment, because your inspiration, your source creativity, generally speaking, you do have a lot more power than you think. You don't tend to use it. It comes in different ways. I think some of you are feeling especially if all of a sudden there was no energy, okay? No energy coming through in the dream state, and which I'd be really surprised at this point. No energy coming through in the 4D or the 3D, and it feels ghostly silent. This can be causing you some panic, okay? Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's what my guides keep saying. Sit in that uncomfortable and get to a point it doesn't define you anymore. Get to a point that it doesn't have to hurt you. Just because it goes silent, it doesn't mean anything's wrong, okay? If there is this agitation that this person is experiencing, it's not about you, okay? It's not. You're letting things go and not letting things get to you is going to be your ultimate key. It doesn't mean don't be affectionate, don't be kind, don't be empathetic and understanding, because there's something to do with your belief in this path. Yeah, the frustration, it's not going where it is. This person maybe isn't fussing over you, but they fuss over other people who aren't deserving. There is this frustration. I get it. I actually shared one of the videos to a particular individual in the house today of a point I went through, and I was like, no, John, I will dream. I will dream my Thai video. Back in 2018, I think it was late 2000. Was it 17, 18? Yeah, I was like, no, I will dream. No, I will expect people to be accountable. Yeah. What have we got here, Divine Feminine? Some of you could be problem solving each other's problems. It's like, theirs are too hard. Just let them go. Don't own it. Don't do that to yourself. It's too difficult. I do feel a major conversation. Be careful, feminines, because ego is coming up. You are trying to move through it. You're trying to move beyond it. Some of you could be getting headaches, or you could be getting, like I said, downloads and not really understanding how to decipher it. Too close to the eclipse, things won't make sense. Moving away from the eclipse, things will start to come into perspective. Many of you are trying to move into harmony and balance, but you really do want justice. Some of you do run the risk of feeling going into that black moon Lilith energy, high sweet, and that black moon energy can be a bit vengeful, especially with the Scorpionic eclipse. So just try to come back into this balanced place. Know exactly what you're wanting, because it's really going to help you so much better. You get more with honey than with, salt, honestly, right? Spiritually, there is going to be some justice coming, but some of you are sort of like, okay, I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision. I know what I'm wanting. I know what I'm worth. You do want the playfulness, but you don't want the player, okay? You want the playfulness, you don't want the player. You will be willing to move providing you know that there's no issue with the karmic, okay? If there's no issue with the karmic, you're open to it. Some of you are almost like, it's like there's a conversation that has to come. There's some information or gossip through the grapevine that's coming. You are going to have to move very quickly, though. And those of you that are going into the connection, because I do really believe there are pocket groups this year that are going into union, you're going to have a lot of courage, okay? It's not just going to be on their side. It's going to be to readdress the wounds that already exist, because the wounds have occurred. But there is the Chariot. You guys are moving. All divine feminines are moving in a forward motion, but there is something to do with this karmic that is coming up. I'm going to pull a clarifier, if I can find the deck. I do get a lot of worry coming from divine feminine. Look, I have to call it what it is. Is there potential jealousy coming up? Look, some of you could feel very neutral and just, wow, we had a really great connection. I wonder if we are TFs. But others of you, there is a potential of anger, bitterness, jealousy relating to the karmic, like they're having, a whole great life. But what you got to think is, are they really having a great life? Okay? Because what you see in the number one, TF would not talk to you if they're having such a good life. Those that are very quiet, same applies. It's like that's actually respecting you because it would, for some it would be in their mind disrespectful to come towards you. I see a separation here. If this person hasn't separated already, there's something to do with this karmic cycle that's wrapping up. Do I believe that is for first wavers? Yes. There is some second wavers as well. This is the month of divorces. I'll just say it. Mercury in Taurus, Venus in Gemini, differing of beliefs, differing of, agitation with the routines. Look at the patterns that have been coming up in your own personal life. They're the patterns that are coming up in the karmic cycle. Apart from the fact they want to keep things in status quo, which is our shadow. We all do want to. There is a movement forward here. You could be picking up on the karmic energy, especially if you tune into the karmic. You can start acting like the karmic. It's happened to me before. I started exhibiting their behavior. Why? It's because you're channeling it. So if you're thinking about the karmic quite a bit, there's movement here. The courage to actually let the past go and to move beyond it. Some of you also can be thinking, because of everything that's happened, am I ever going to get beyond this? Am I ever going to be comfortable enough to actually invest in this circumstance after all the damage? Yes, that's what the work is. It doesn't have to define you. Some will, some won't. If you do the work, you can. This person is moving. Some of you are thinking of moving physically. Some of you are thinking about leaving and going to a different location. Could it be deemed as running? It could be. For some of you, you're like, okay, I just won't be here. I'm hearing moving on up. Where are you going? Oof, I don't know. Cupid. Ever heard that Carrie Underwood song, Cupid's Got a Shotgun? Yep. Divine Feminine's like, look, you better get your arch ready. You better get on your horse. I've had enough of the status quo. This is a showdown. This really does look like a showdown. You better hurry up. What you got going on over there? Okay, Divine Feminine, you guys got to say something. You're wondering what the hell is wrong with this person, why they can't communicate. Let's get it clarified with the chakra card, and then we'll get into the super chats. There's some information to do with the karmic here. Those of you that are in communication, I believe there's going to be a major conversation. Some of you are just avoiding saying the absolute obvious. Okay, that one is the card, obviously. Look at this shit. You're not dreaming the dream. You're not living the dream. You're blocking it. You're not believing in it. You feel this is a low vibe, okay? So your vibe has gone low. Now, whatever that is, getting into an equilibrium again is going to be key for any forward momentum, right? Getting grounded, getting into a forward momentum, because at the moment, how do I put it? It's like, yeah, can things happen even when we don't believe? Yes. But when we don't believe, what we do tend to attract is bad manifestations. It's like blockages and, you hit your toe on a rock and then you keep doing it and you're going, why is this happening to me? Because the lower vibration is magnetically attracting that. Spiritually speaking, I feel there's a candid conversation. This can be talking to your twin in the ethers or in the physical 3D. And it's having a very transparent conversation. But you must actually also, after articulating, listen to them also, because there does seem to be something that is kind of blocking it. You think this person is, some of you are thinking this person's married. You're like, okay, are you married? Is there something I'm not seeing? Is there something that's hidden? Because there's almost like you feel there is a problem with the plan. That's what I'm hearing. There's a problem with this plan. Have a talk about it if you can. If you're not in communication, it's something spiritually on your side that you're unraveling so that you can have that movement. There is a risk, I feel a lot of you are feeling, around the karmic third party energy. Keep taking the power away from them. You know, stop giving them the power in a sense that you believe that it's almost like turning this person into a god. Nobody's really, okay? So when we make a karmic third party a god, you're scared of them. You feel it's a permanency. Nothing's permanent. Not even our own lives are permanent. You're giving too much power to this individual. You've got to take the power away. You need to ascend above it and know that, you know, this person does have power. This person actually can make their own choices. This person can address the devil in detail. So if it's something to the degree of you saying, hey, this is what I feel a physical relationship looks like, sweet. Then whatever they need to do, they need to take the bull by the horns. Do I think there's going to be sudden movement? I do. I do think there's going to be sort of like a week of silence for some of you. If you have been doing that integration and work, I feel the silence is going to break. I don't feel you see it coming. You're going to have to do, some of you are avoiding it because of Mercury retrograde. Don't do that. Everything comes in its own divine timing. I just feel there's an avoidance there. You feel something's hidden. Karmic issue, a renegotiation of these terms. You want this person gone before you proceed. That, for many of you, that's the benchmark. You're like, this person has to be resolved. Now, that resolution on that circumstance is going to look very different for each one of you because some of them might have had children together. Some of them might have been married. That is going to look different for each one of you. What you do need to look at is, would you be okay with that? Because we can't turn time back to erase that, but we can actually know what we can and can't do. Okay, we're going to get into the super charts. I think there's going to be like communication very quickly, gossip about a karmic, a sudden change in direction. You're wanting justice, but try to step back from the painting and navigating this week because there could be a bit of a testing. What are they showing me? A necessary conversation and a necessary adjustment. That's what they're saying. A necessary adjustment. It's temporary. They don't want me to show you. That's what they're saying. It's like because then the honesty of the situation will be shown. Sometimes if we give you metaphors and show you maybe some of the outcomes, there's too many variables. What they are showing is there's going to be something that is presented to you and you're going to need to make a decision. With that decision, what the outcome is, it could be a temporary sacrifice for a long-term gain. This could be a job. This could be the relationship with your twin. This could be them discussing what is going to happen in order for that to happen and then to go from there. Let him do his work, Lisa. It's his work, doll. You can have the status there. Anyway, into the super chats. Who do we have first? Let's look. Let's get these cards ready. Like I said, unless we make the cake differently and detach, we keep getting the same outcome. Sometimes we have to put ourselves in another person's shoes and take the emotion out for them to close that cycle. And a lot of times how we relate to it will not be the way they will relate to it. And they generally move through that karmic cycle quicker than we do if we're not enabling, judging, and staying stagnant. Okay, so we have Leo Nix. What's going on, my love? Is Leo Nix in the house? Let's see what's coming through for you. I got your message on PayPal. Why so much silence after such a great time with Dan? Well, you just heard the reading. We just had a Scorpio eclipse, and where's Mars and Cancer? Dramas with family, security. Where are they going to live? How are they going to be? I would actually guarantee 90% of our twins that are in communication at this point are either physically busy working and renegotiating the contract moving forward or directly closing out karmic cycles. We're going to see your cards. You're paranoid that this person's being a devil. You also could be wondering whether this person is just looking at you as a friend. or whether they have passion for you. Am I true? Look at the Devil card. So, our mind can be our devil. And again, Leos and Cancerians near eclipses and particular zodiac signs will find eclipses more difficult. So you're like, okay, does this person just look at me as a friend? How you can interpret that energy is A, going back into the inner child. Okay, is it because of the silence? What was shown to you during the party? There was attention, there was affection, there was movement, there was fluidity. How can you maintain that and sit in the silence knowing that you are worthy? Because that is, think about it this way. You could be dating someone and they're working away and they've said to you, you are the love of my life, you're everything, you have great intimate relationship, and then they go away and they've told you how they ultimately feel. Can those things change? They can, but psychologically, is it going to be productive to tell yourself some freak out stories? Not really, because then if we have to every day be told, I mean, my TF tells me, I'm not going to tell you I love you every day, Yildiz. You don't need that, And if I am requiring that inside of him, I'm really directly not comfortable in the connection and I haven't grown, right? So you could be feeling, is this person using me? Is this person lying? Is there somebody else behind the scenes? Is there something wrong? You could text message, but you're also going to have to heal that energy inside of you. There's a worry. There's a worry towards this. You're feeling paranoid that maybe they've, hooked up with someone. You also know that there's some contracts they need to address so that they're stable physically, permanently. That's weighing on your mind and making you anxious. There is some jealousy that's coming up, but you're like, is this person being a player? But they really didn't treat you like a player at the party. They really didn't. You do miss them. You're trying to break that pattern, but that pattern's coming back up again. When we get mad, the ba. I think it's quite hot, actually. It's a bit sadistic, really. You got to play your cards right. Look, there could be a union, but I do think they're mapping that out. I do think they're physically looking at it going, look, they do have to address the devil in the detail, right? And this could be an accommodation. This could be a contract. This could be how they're going to be stable. If the energy of arguments continues, it's going to destabilize this. So is an argument at this point in time a good idea? Absolutely not. You have to remember what you're playing for. You can chuck a text message. You can say, I really miss you. I'd love to see you. Are you okay? You can ask those questions. You're frustrated. You're like, I'll be there yet. But there's more work to do because, again, the direct things that are going on. This person is very tense at the moment. There's been old emotions to do with family coming up. They are getting themselves ready. They've already made their decision. Is this to do with home? Location. Could be location of residence. How they're going to provide. I feel a transition of a job as well, but they don't really want to go hell into it because they still don't know. Well, just don't argue. There's nothing really to argue about. You got to ask yourself, why are you angry? The Scorpio means control, right? Have empathy and understanding. But it doesn't mean to say you have to be a doormat. You can actually say, hey, I empathize and understand, but this kind of, was a conversation, hey, we're reconciling? No, it was a fresh start. So every door that is offered to you, you haven't been lied to, right? You haven't actually. This is a mindset. It was the peace leaf for you and Bub to go to a party. That is the first step. That's like the olive leaf. You've got to, there's stages. Now, tornado hit, bang, it's flattened. You've been given the olive leaf. You've moved in. The communication is fluid. Now, what you don't want to do is sabotage all the hard work that's been done. And you want to wait for the initiator who is not being the chaser anymore, you're going to allow the energy to kind of relax in so that person can come towards you, where whenever they come towards you, what is it going to be? This is positive, this is neutral, this is understanding, this is fairness, and you're then going to attract that safety back in the connection. If you are to communicate in a lower frequency and control and be paranoid, information will come to you if anything shady's been done. Information will. We're in Mercury retrograde. We have the Scorpio eclipse. If it's there, it will be shown to you, but then you'll have a decision to make with your emotions. I don't feel this is to do with the fact that this person's actually doing anything malice. It's not they're being completely fair, but a movie I watched last night was Life Is Not Fair, which is so true. It's so true. Yeah, you stop feeling used. Start loving your body. Start saying, this is my temple, but this temple can have fun too. And I'm speaking in code because I'm on YouTube. You get my gist. If there's chemistry, intimacy, the deed, it's your choice. Do you know what I mean? But your mind is like, it's kind of feeling resentment. It's like, did you use me? Don't go there. No, because it's a choice, right? We choose. It's a yes or it's a no. I see this person moving towards you, love. I do feel at the moment there's some lingering emotions after a passing of a relative. It's coming to a close. I do think some major decisions need to be made. And for some reason, I do feel some arguments with the older children. That's what I'm getting. Because I think there's a moving around of situations. That's what I have for you this week. But be careful, because it's saying if you go in frustrated, it could take you backwards. That's what they're saying. Yeah, it could take you backwards. You can still communicate. If they want to talk to you, answer. Just keep your cool. Okay? Kerry. Hi, Kerry. How's work, girl? Are you loving it? Yeah, just get out of your head, doll. And write down, journal, because this is a really good time to find some of our wounds. So it could be if we're having this huge expression, go through the huge expression. Type it down. That's why I said the Members Hub is a real good place. I might make a rubbish dump kind of room. And also I am making an ascended room, and that's for those that are in union, so that they can talk to others that are in union and they can get that support there. It never ends, but then we can choose to enjoy things in a different way. I'll tell you what. Oof. So have you started waking up at 3 o'clock for exercise? And you're like, oh, I know I'm probably going to have to, but I really don't want to. Or have you started eating pigeon food? It's a private joke between Kerry and I, just so you know. I swear he's gone off to bed. Have you been having a sippy, Kerry? Because there's a bit of overindulgence here. Now, this can be socializing. This could be burning the candle at both ends. This also could be, thinking about TF and their journey and what they're going through, and maybe what a toll it took on you, but that at some point all those things are going to be coming out, from under the carpet to haunt us if we don't address them. So don't think that their situation is all a bed of roses. I don't think any person's is. I think, I think you're looking at it. You could have been really, really overthinking it over the weekend as a potential. I do think it can start calming down, but I also feel for you personally in your own life, you're making some real hard decisions. And I don't think they're hard decisions. I think they're necessary decisions. You're remapping how you're going to be running your life. You're remapping what is value and what's not to you. I do see a different stream of income coming through. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've been having interesting dreams. And I'm just going to code them as interesting dreams because we have the chemistry devil here. This is lustrous dreams. If that pops in, I think you're trying to block it out, but this person's coming in. This person's popping up in your dream state. If you're blocking it, it's going to come up. I would say 3 weeks. They're saying 3 weeks, you're going to have one of those dreams. And you're like, huh? Yeah. So you're definitely looking at detail. They're also saying don't things won't make complete sense right away. I would say by the 19th, things are going to make a hell of a lot more sense to us than, well, they're coming. They're coming, okay? It's on its way. There are certain people around you that you want to evict. You don't, yeah, you want to feel you can be yourself. And at the moment, there's certain people that aren't allowing that. I wouldn't say not allowing it. You're not vibing, okay? There's certain people you're not vibing with. But, you know, you yourself, you haven't had a lot of time to be there for everybody because you've been having to be a man and a woman in your own life. So you're trying to get that balance with this new world. Ooh. Okay, the karmic, yes, is very tense. There's something going on their side of the fence. I do think they've mentioned your name. So if you start getting headaches or ringing in the ears, good sign. I don't know. Well, is it a good sign? It's not a bad sign. It just means that they're not really focusing on the connection. Oh, shit. Excuse my French. Yeah, there's trouble in paradise over here. We have the two individuals disputing and one walking out the door. Has it been in relation to you? Yes, a conversation could have been, well, do you still have feelings for that person? I think the person's being pretty blunt and honest, and they're like, yeah. And there is an individual getting ready to walk out the door. There's been an avoidance, but, you know, I don't think they're too happy there. Nothing bad, Kerry. I do think contracts you're looking at. You may hear gossip. I'm telling you, you may hear gossip. You also might want a bevy or two. No lust in dreams. So have you had a drink? The instructor yesterday, what was it? Yeah, they were like, what are you going to do after? And I went, well, there's zero tolerance. So, you know, I haven't had a drink and you're really craving one. I don't, but I said to him, I do coaching and I don't promote the use of pacifiers as a solution. But by gosh, yeah, it was like the breathing and everything else. I worked through it. I worked through my energy and then I treated myself after. There are people that, weirdly enough, yeah. Well, that's what I had yesterday. I was like, walked in the door. It's like, right, you know the deal. You know, we agreed what's happening here. I got myself some crackers and some cheese, and I grabbed myself a bevy, and that was it. That was my wind down, and then I had to cook my own bloody tea. Anyway, yeah, you're going to find, I don't think they need to intimidate you, Dale. It just may not be the resonance of who you are anymore. We're all equal, really. You get that. Different pay packs, different vibes, different qualities. Just get really comfortable with who you are. If it doesn't resonate, it's not that you're intimidated. It's that they're domineering. Boss energy as well. That energy can calm down. I think, yeah, they're an interesting sort. I wouldn't even personalize that one. Yeah. You're on the right path, my love. You're doing good. Okay, we have, but yeah, don't be surprised if you get gossip about that individual and some financial situations they're going through. Who do we have next? We had, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. No songs today, Dawn. What's going on? Dawn's like, shove songs. Take care, Kerry. Yeah, Dawn's TF was a bit moody yesterday. So, or was it the day before? Yeah, so, it was on in the members hub yesterday. Okay, you're tired of making all the sacrifices, Dawn. You're like, look, I just want someone to give me a hand, somebody to make some sacrifices. You are within your right to be upset with it. It made you feel sort of like, well, wow, you not even for a friend. I think you picked him on a wrong day, okay? You just because like that moon, honestly, I was in the thick of it. If you had seen my face, I look like Casper the ghost. Going, even the person said to me, "You look like you don't want to be here," and certain thing went down, and I don't think anyone wanted to be on the planet over the week, right? With the Scorpio energy, it was very intense. So there's some sacrifices. You're like, look, I've been patient, I've been waiting. It's like waiting for paint to dry. Paint dries quicker. I feel you're just looking at it and going, I don't really believe this person's going to leave the karmic relationship. You would have been happy with the friendship, but even the friendship now, and you're sort of like, okay, so what's gone awry here? What is out of balance? What is happening with this? You've tried being balanced, you've tried being understanding, you've tried being, detaching and moving away. And there's something to do with your power that is going on in the mix of this. You're just baffled. You're sort of like, I don't get this. I don't get how I'm going to have justice. Maybe I need to move forward. This person doesn't let me in. They're so strung up on money. How can this eventuate to a positive outcome? It's quite funny because your transits this year are going to be quite focused on that also. So I literally am saying this to my partner. Everything in my life that I'm going through, he's already been there, done that. And so any prejudice I had with anything, I always am given a direct 3D circumstance so I can walk a mile in their shoes. Always. It's horrible. Okay, you're really wanting to go into a contract and have marriage. Look, after the Scorpio energy, we are having a rework. We are really reassessing these things, but we're also, some secrets can come to the forefront. I'm being shown a bag and packing it and going. This could be a holiday. This could be a getaway. I feel they're saying step back to gain perspective. Both the King of Swords and the High Priestess are here. You feel they're too traditional to leave this or they're too bound to money. You do want to move forward. You do want to give him a piece of your mind. You probably haven't even done that yet. I think even giving the person a peace of mind, I don't know why I'm being shown in reference to a very calm letter. I feel that calm letter is going to I wouldn't send it right away. If you're going to write something down, I want you to write it down and I want you to step back from it for a week and then I want you to go back to it and see how it still resonates. Sometimes that message in a bottle can be for you. Sometimes it can be, yes, it still resonates. Okay, well, the time is to give it. But I feel with all communication at this point, you're frustrated. You're trying to move forward. You have a lot on your plate. You want to feel special. You don't, you'd be content with even the person being playful with you and a friend and still being in your life. But even that aspect at the moment is a bit dicey. And so that's really affected you. There is something to do with marriage that you are actually wanting in your life. You're wanting company. You're wanting somebody to share your life with. And you're wondering how that would make that person feel if the shoe was on the other foot. So I think to a degree, you're really tuning into that at this point. You haven't completely made your mind up. Well, I do see just in genuine looking at your life moving forward and saying, I need to be really wise with this. I know what I'm worth, because obviously as human beings, we have needs, we have dreams. You are worthy of this. So you're having, at the moment, be careful of intuition, because not so much intuition, be careful of ego, because what happens when we're hurt, we're not making the most rational decision. When we're calm and we write that letter, look at the scroll, we can step back and all of our thoughts that have kept us up or come to light, be it these are creative ideas or there is a lesson in it spiritually, I feel if you step back from it, it's going to give you, A, it'll give you self-awareness, but B, it's going to give you a map moving forward of who you are and what you want. I do think from losing your friend, it's really kind of hit this person for a 6. Yes, they do keep up at night thinking about you. When they do argue with you, they feel quite bad. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear from them in 2 days or if you haven't heard from them already, because I do feel more communication. They may act as though nothing has happened. Again, it's usually, especially if there's been a grievance between the both of you, I really do feel this person's way of making amends is just to call you. I don't see anything bad here, but I do see you sort of on the fence, and I think you need to take, so it could be that you go on a holiday, take a mini break, or take some time out. Mirror back the pattern of what they're doing in a very, very calm way. I do see 2-3 days you may actually have a conversation with this person. They're also making reference to forgiveness, but it's not you have to forgive. It's that what is going to be forgivable and what isn't. Who do we have next? Cha. Hi, Cha. I could probably take one more and then we'll be closing it. Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight. It's already 11. Hey, Cha. How you doing? How'd you cope with the eclipse? Was it hell? Were you like, let me hide under a bed? I wonder what's coming up in Cha's now. What have we got? Oh, girl. Are you telling me you coped okay? I think, so did you cope okay with it? Because they're like, I don't know. Your vibe always, Char, is very different to the collectives. I don't know. You must just be a positive little bunny. Did you cope with it okay? Or were you like, ooh? You got the psychic card. Have you had some creative ideas? I feel that you're going to have some creative light bulb ideas. These are fast-moving pieces. This is something that's very fast-moving. Unless you have opened up a can of worms and you're like, all right, I'm going to do something, and then it moves very, very quickly. Which one is this? Because they're showing me too. They're showing me, yeah, because they're showing me that because of your creative vibes, it's benefiting you, right? So you've got all these creative vibes, you've got these creative ideas. You could have had some nice downloads. Look, this could be business ideas, creative pursuits. This also could be in relation to how you're going to, it's filling your cup. It's very exciting. It could be, some of these things could be really lucrative. I think they're really exciting. You're like, right, no, got this idea, got that idea. Where it comes to love, I also feel, okay, did you have a get-together? Are you planning a get-together with a group of people? You could have from some friends. These friends, they're a bit, they go way back. Who are these friends? I just feel a social gathering. This could be with 1 or 2 people. It doesn't have to be a large group. This could be a memory, or it could be that it's physically happening. Now, I do feel there can be some random catch-ups. There is the Emperor showing up here. Now, from a romantic point of view, daughter's graduation soon. Yeah, because it feels like a few drinks with a couple of social friends after. And I'm hearing the term in vinos veritas, which means in wine there is truth. And it's probably more an analogy and a time spot. So when my guides give me, like, there's a social event and there's a group of people coming together, they can be key point in time. It's a little bit like a clock. So the clock is shown to me, they'll make reference to it, and that's where the channeling starts. Does that make sense? Now, what I'm saying around that time is you're either wrapping up a cycle and you're like, I'm ready to address these things. email, text, you could bump into the person. But there's also that, again, I'm getting two people with yours. Now, there could be a honey at school that finds you very attractive. I also feel there's something to do with TF and you could be bumping into them. I do think there is a possibility if you have a little bit too much, you might actually contact. This could be text message, email, drive-by. I don't feel drive-by. I feel there's some, you know, when you get Dutch courage, I'm really feeling that Dutch courage coming through in your reading. Char's like, it's not, no, Yildiz, it's not going to happen. You're laughing at me right now, I can tell. No, Yildiz, I'm not going to do that. Hell will freeze over before I call that person. I'm telling you, when you have a little bit in you, you'll be surprised what you do. So you have the Fool card in relation to the past, getting out of your head, which I'm telling you, it can be at times. It's like in Vino Veritas. You're like, I'm free. I can do what I want to do. Nah, 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 nah. Like, this does really feel like you're like, okay, I'll pull the bloody tower down myself. I'll have a few, and I might just say what I really think. And I think this is where things move in pieces very, very quickly. And yeah. And you don't care whether they do respond or don't. Yeah, that, I'm telling you, that appears to be and especially when I see anything crown chakra like or psychic, it's like, when are we without inhibition? When we're at our most zen, which twin flame path, we know zen. Sometimes, maybe during intimacy. Other than that, you know, it's like the five of swords. Not five of swords, five of wands. That's what they're showing to me. You're very close, but you have great ideas. These ideas could take you into craft, business, entrepreneurship, exciting social settings I see coming for you. I do see that in Venus Veritas, and you're getting very close to getting ready to just say how it is. And yes, I do actually think it could be the green light that person needs, but you have absolutely no attachment. I hope that helps, Char. Could you at least record it or get your friends to record it and send it to me when it happens? Because I want to have a good laugh. Giggle. Let's see. Oh, you're going to hear from this person very soon. Only because of the songs that have been coming through. I heard, come on, baby, light my fire, and I fell into a burning ring of fire. That's okay, Char. I want a video of that, Char, please. Please. You're like, nah, 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 nah. Yeah. Okay. Those two songs. Are we there yet, Papa Smurf? I actually think this person's coming in. Well, I feel a bit down. What's going on here? First thing I heard is dad. There could be something going on with a parent figure. Yeah, something's going on here. Look, as to the partnership and the connection with you, they're a funny bugger. I think this communication, if there was a karmic, it's over. The person might have had like tribe, family, children. All right, made a decision. Yeah, they weren't happy. They weren't happy. They knew they weren't. This also could have been because they were closing that cycle out. You also are feeling, is this person even a good investment? You know deep down it will be. It's just whatever their burdens they've carried, you're feeling you have to go into this quite gradually because, you know, you don't want to kind of spook the dare. You don't want to spook it. not that I can say it's like you're allowing it to micromanage you, but because you've had this experience in your past, you're navigating this a little bit better. You're like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you do feel automatically if the behavior, the energy, the communication is different, then you will get a different outcome. They're not manipulating you. I think they're being probably the most earnest and honest they have been to you in a very, very long time. They do want to change things. They're requesting you to trust them. Yeah, you do also feel that once that is kind of cleared up, it's going to flow and their vibration is going to be a lot happier. At times you feel this is this person's pattern, but then you come down to no, it's like trauma bonding, okay? So it's not that somebody asked me this years ago, you know, do you think this is we won't go into that anyway. It just feels as though, look, this wasn't a good fit for them. Okay, they got into a karmic relationship, but now, you know, they thought that maybe that would be the solution or a good fit, and it hasn't been. So I will honestly tell you 3 times now, and I had to sit with it because, you know, at times my guides show me something. There is something going down with the father. I don't know what they're making reference to, but there is something going down with father at the moment. I don't think it's them being a father. I think this is their DNA father. Now, that's something I should probably tell you in person or in friggin' YouTube. They don't want you to resist them. They know that that situation there is very irresistible. That part of the department, they don't have issues with you. They also are not using you on that basis. They don't look at it that way. You do scare them at times. They're being more open to you than they have been before. They do want union with you. They do want this. And it's going to be slow and steady, but it is going to move. But there's something they want to talk to you about. I would say let them talk. They're opening up each step of the way. What's hidden, please? You're like, what the hell is going on? They're saying they're working it out. I don't know why they're looking at their bank account. It could be like a holiday or something like that. But the bank account could also be, how long is it going to take me to get to my goal? How can I achieve that goal? They do have you in mind with this. But it's funny because all the things to do with money and past relationships are moving, and it's like they're moving to the forefront. And so they're making reference to whatever the plan was before, it's been reset. So the timing, the initial map has been scrapped. There's been a new map that's been configured because now that you're in the picture of it, it doesn't work. Does that make sense? So whatever that plan they had, be it was for finances and a time frame of an end of a contract with a certain thing, now that you're in the mix of it, they're like, I need to scrap that. I need to eliminate some things. I need to simplify my life. I need to look at my bank balance. And I need to reconfigure this map and work out what the best course of action is. So I think at this point, this person's unpacking it, but they're also trying to make a plan. They could actually have a quick pop into town. And I feel that they're going to actually come and see you and have a discussion with you about this and what the plan of action is. You could also get a very random phone call. And that random phone call will be in the evening. Again, I would answer. They're working it out. You gave them what you were wanting. Now they're doing it. That's what I'm getting. I'm not saying they're normal. He'd shoot me if I said that. He'd be like, what do you mean, Yildiz, I'm not normal? I just think he's remapping. Okay, who do we have next? Stella, then Lisa. Stellar. Oh, Stella, did you have fun? You are feeling as though your patience is running thin, okay? This could be fatigue, it could be overwhelm, it could be to do with money and stresses. It also could be to do with the twin flame path. You also could be feeling that, I don't know why, you're looking at the divine masculine very, like, you just know that they are going to go, okay? You feel overwhelmed. There's an overwhelm here. It's really funny. It's almost like there's two cards one side, two cards the other. So I would say on divine feminine side, there's massive changes. On divine masculine side, there's plenty of changes. But it's almost like you feel you're waiting in vain for some grand outcome. In your own personal life, I do feel there's big things of changes. You could be worried about home, finances, stability, the future, but I do think there's a good outcome coming. There is a new cycle coming in. It's going to create more stability. You're doing everything you can to create stability. I feel this is for those of you, you know, those around you. The subject of marriage is coming up. Marriages. What do I get? Okay, as yours is stabilizing, their moment of tower is coming. You particularly could be feeling as though they're never going to leave this karmic relationship, but there's a wind down of this contract. There's a wind down. We've got freedom, looking back to the freedom of the past, you know, fantasizing. I mean, these are key things in a relationship of a worry. You sort of get to the point where you're maybe fantasizing about your other life over living in it. I was numb. Work didn't give me time to think for anything else. Getting better now. TF and partner now know I am planning to come and a date. Yeah, well, they're looking at this, but I think the karmic also. I'm going to pull some cards for the karmic because that one's a funny one. But the karmic is like upside down. There's crap going down. Now, divine masculine over here is like, I'm running out of time. I know we're waiting in vain. This problem keeps coming up. I fantasize about this person. I'm thinking about it day and night. I know shit's going to hit the fan. I just get the actual karmic contract is very separate. What do I mean by that? It's like two people living together that really staying together maybe as a team. That's about it. You know, it's like we work together, but we don't maybe necessarily completely like each other. We're the society fit of a connection. You've been getting headaches. Stella. One of your eyes needs checking. They're excited for you to be coming. The other one's a bit jealous, but they're excited. Oh, twins excited. Okay, how are they going to respond? There's a few arguments. They're just not saying anything. They're not saying anything. Yeah, the karmic's a bit like, oh, she's coming. You know, and they know better. They're like, I know how this goes. I know how this goes. This person is, you know, in a foul mood. I'm just going to Go with the flow. Do I think they're going to have a meeting with you? Yes, I do. Your current circumstance, somebody in the tribe is getting a new job. There could be subjects to do with where you're going to live. That could be changing. That could be a feeling you're having. Or new plans, okay? There's something new coming in, Stella. It doesn't feel bad, but I do think the connection with the karmic is deteriorating, even if you were or weren't to go. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay, who do we have next? I hope that helps, Stella. Lisa, what are we looking at? You're bracing yourself. Lisa's like, oh, God, Yildiz is here. What can we see in your twin flame path, my love? Let's have a look. You are going to get your happy ending. You are going to get your happy ending. Let's have a look at this. Okay, there are wounds that are coming up. You're like, when the hell is this going to happen? Look, you do have the Two of Cups here. You are being protective. But there's a reason this is happening in assimilation, okay? So you have the direct spiritual connection. And I do physically see the happy ending. I do. But there's something relating to a wound that is coming up in a mirror with this circumstance. So, when we have a wound and it shows itself in the form of a 3D circumstance, like a physical relationship or a karmic contract, usually when it lingers, it's because we actually spiritually went through that previously. And so it triggers the old wound up for us to revisit it. Could we come up like we've learned all those lessons and that we'd never do it again? 100%, but this is their path. That's not ours. But it does come up to heal us because there's something in this. They're showing me a physical person that wound and that memory was associated to, and it's like it's bringing it up in trauma sense. I really do see a very happy outcome. You could be thinking, how is this circumstance going to resolve itself? This person could be like into overindulging. It could have been going on a bit too long. You're wondering how the burden is going to be manageable. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards in relation to the karmic. I'm not necessarily hearing a solution, but I'm hearing like a door, a portal. Let's see. The Mercury's just dropped. It's a bit airy. I might as well put that banner back up, Giggle, because it's a bit smaller than the other one. Okay. Karmic. Something's moving very quickly. It's not long. If this person's unwell, a more permanent solution is coming about. They're also saying if this person does deteriorate, they're actually making reference to go and say goodbye. This person, I do believe, was linked to you in a past life. The grievance and the angst you hold with this person is because they might have been a child or a relative to you in a previous life. They are freeing themselves from the circumstance. There feels a release. You are going to have your happy outcome, but you also may need to make your peace and your goodbyes. Yeah. This person also may emotionally need your care and support. I don't mean the karmic, I mean divine masculine. Yeah, they're not quite ready. Okay? There is some changes happening. It is going to free you. It is going to open the door, but there also can be on the other side of it, which is something you probably already know, is that your counterpart is going to be a bit down for a bit. But you will get your happy outcome. Who do we have next? We have Twin Flame number 9. Okay. Oh, what are you trying to avoid? We had a busy super chat day. We actually had a members super chat day for In the Dark. So those of you that do want more a private session and you want to ask questions, sometimes we even add you on the camera in the group sessions, especially in the members hub. Come through and actually, get a subscription and you can join the super chats there and ask it. It's a bit like a private reading, except it's in a quiet room. So the whole of YouTube doesn't have to see what we've talked about. Trying to avoid work decisions. You're a dag. I think they're unavoidable at this point. Look at me. I went and did half the things during Mercury retrograde. On the day of an eclipse, like who does that? Yildiz does that, and it rained. So yeah, no, it was really fun. Okay, how are they feeling? They're trying to do all they physically can to avoid disaster. Okay, this is like trying to avoid disaster. What they mean by that? Stress. They are thinking about you. They know that they hate their life they have right now. There's a lot of thought towards you. You do bring them. Have you been in communication with this person recently? Because I do feel Twin Flame 9. You don't work with this person, do you? Oof. If they were in a karmic relationship, I feel it's done. Look at this. No connection. Something to do with the karmic. They're owning their power. I do think you will work with this person at a point in your life. King of Wands. I don't know. What is this? There's something to do with the wrap-up here. This is going to help with your union. Okay? But there's a wrap-up here. There's something quite messy. This to me, what is being said, it was already in the works, and it's them taking it down. It's them pulling it down. It's not waiting for something to happen to them. It's them physically pulling something down. It's them using their power, really, in a positive way. Okay? Now, romantically, intuitively to you, I'll pull 3 cards. Do I feel they're in the thick of it? Yeah, and it's very aggressive. So it's very sudden. I feel it's sudden, it's cutting, it's quick, whatever this is. This could be like a dispute with someone in the environment or a physical karmic connection. It feels messy, though. Nearly 3 months, no communication. They feel light when they're thinking about you. They don't feel angry. They didn't exactly like the way it ended. I will say that. Yeah, they weren't happy with the way it ended. They do worry that you may find somebody else, even though I presume you have told them it will never happen. Yeah, there's a worry about that. They feel that they have these pictures of what they want to create with you. They do. They're also making reference to maybe you were helping somebody out. This could have been like caring for somebody, looking after somebody. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it as there anymore. But this worry in between that is maybe you'll get into a karmic relationship, maybe you'll be settled. And it's not they don't want you to be happy. I mean, they do. But they also are suffering from the guilt of what they did to you. And this is coming up quite a bit. And they're wanting to make amends for it. They just didn't want you to get the worst of them, but they felt you ended up getting that. Now they're wanting to come towards you and actually give you a lot more. So they're working through it, but currently they're in that kind of Ten of Swords energy. They were back then. So how will I put it? What they're wanting to give you is so much more. Exit stage of an old circumstance. And they are meditating upon the past at this point. And it feels that however the ending happened with you guys, they weren't very happy with it. Yeah. It is very different now. I think their perspective and perception is very different. Yeah, they're aware of those patterns. Okay, so they're aware of the patterns and where they came from. That it was like an all or nothing, and it was very extreme. And there could have been habits as well, if that's what they're making reference to. I think it can be quite positive. I would allow this person to flow. I think it's looking positive. I don't see anything negative there. You could get communication. They're also making reference to July for you as well. Tracy D. Do we have Tracy D in the house? No. Shouldn't need to. See a third party and just go, that's sweet. You have unfinished business. You do you, boo. Call me when you're sober. It's good. Have fun then. I understand. Okay, Tracy D. Well, they mentioned July. I think still movement from here, but I think the tie-up of something is happening now. Okay, Tracy D, are you in the house, my lovely? If you're not, we're going to proceed with your reading. You have some sense of a contract that you need to review. This could be a financial, physical, or legal situation. Is this severing of an old path and beginning a new one? Now, this could be you or TF, or a direct question you're answering. Are you currently dealing with some sense of a kind of judgment? This could be a piece of paperwork. It could be a legal situation. It could be a physical divorce. Is twin, in a physical, it's some sense of a contract. That's what I'm looking at. That's your crowning energy. You're critically looking at it. You're trying to get the detail right. You're hoping also for a good judgment. Just want me to interpret them, or? Okay, there's something from the past and you're hoping it's not going to come back in a better shape, okay? Worse shape. So this could be something that was hidden, some karmic kind of turnabout. You're hoping this is actually going to go in your favor. I do see a person moving towards you from the past. This person can resurface. No physical contact. Okay, well, as I said, there is something to do with the contract you're dealing with. Now, if this is on your side and this is a karmic situation, this is either going to be a work, financial, ex-romance, your side, their side. It's the overall energy. There is an entanglement here, okay? So there is something that is binding, something that is cementing, something that's being reworked and resolved. It is something from the past. This is something on your side or their side that had something to do with the karmic cycle, and hopefully everything was done above board. This could be paranoia that things from the past are going to come out and could cause some mess. I think where it does come to love point blank, Sarah, you're going to be attracting the highest octane, okay? You've learnt a great deal over the years. You know what works best in connections. And I feel that both of you, whatever these spiritual lessons were, it's going to attract those changes, but it is a particular individual coming towards you in a very positive sense. I do think both parties here are very, very tired, you know, quite worn from a journey, working very hard for personal development inside their own lives. You do have Lady Luck on your side, so this can be lotteries and wins. But it also could be almost the wealth of experience because this person sees the value in you. You do have a lot of money that could be coming in. You also don't have to, how do I put it? It feels as though whatever's playing out in your life at this point, you don't have time for games. You don't have room for that. There's just no room. You could have a very, very busy schedule and you think, I don't have time for games. I physically don't. And so maybe that busyness that is coming in or here is going to help you actually, not allow that same BS to occur because it feels that it's going to be positive, not negative. There could be power struggles at work at the moment. I feel that there's some moving pieces in your life that you're shifting around at this point in time. I think once they stabilize out to where you want them to be, this is where movement will come in love. But I do feel there's like 3 key areas that are moving at this point in time in your own personal life, and therefore there's a bit of a delay with that other side. Once those things become resolved and calm or manifested and calm, done, invested in, because again, legalities, I feel that movement is going to happen, but I feel there's a lot of moving pieces at the moment that's happening in your surroundings. It could be causing a bit of equilibrium that's a bit, off kilter. I do think you got 2 paths and 2 roads, especially in the area of love. But I really do feel surprise phone calls. There could be a surprise phone call. But these moving pieces, the universe is almost saying, don't ask for more yet. You have a lot going on. And I hope that lands. I hope that makes sense. But it feels as though the moving pieces, once they've kind of calmed down, that's where you can have movement in that department. But at this point, there's something to do with moving pieces happening. You are wanting to make a major decision, though. Just be aware that there are some moving pieces here. I hope that helps. You'll have to say what your moving pieces are. Anywho, we will jump into AAA. Let's look at yours. And then we have Don Scorpio and last but not least, Cosmic Journey. Okay, AAA. Let's have a look at yours. Thank you, Giggle, for moderating. I appreciate it. You're probably ready to go to sleep. What is it, midnight over there? What time is it where you are? Is it 12 o'clock? At least I'm keeping you company for those of you through your ascension that can't sleep, right? Oh, hey, there's a bit of jealousy and competition going on in your environment. Could you be feeling anxious? You're like, look, I feel like I've got to give something up. I've got to drop something. What do I do? Which dream do I go towards? You're like on 2 paths here. You're like, you don't know which path to go towards, which path is going to work, what is going to work. This can be with marriages, contracts, and partnerships. Okay. Yeah, it is balancing out. There's 3 moving parts, my love. Okay, so AAA, what are we doing here? Now, what I see is there is some jealousy, insecurity. You've got a bit of competition in your working environment. This could be attraction to you. This could be wanting what you have. And you could be stepping back and actually having to look at the map of your life at this point in time really, really realistically. They are making reference to, in order to have success, you're going to have to be realistic. It's almost like that Pluto effect. It's like, what am I going to have to drop in order to keep that process going, because it's something that's so overwhelming, so big, that you are feeling almost like you have to keep all of your cards close to your chest because you don't directly trust it. But the status quo has to shift And then in order to have that movement, something needs to be addressed. And I don't know why I get the Mercury card, but I feel, Mercury retrograde, don't avoid. Scorpio eclipses, don't avoid. This is a time we have to address. We can't avoid, because what it does is keep putting the things under the carpet to the point that carpet is going to bow up like that and it's all coming out. There's something that you're tired of, but you need to admit it. Now, this could be okay of maybe, kept things pretty neutral, kept things pretty cool. If it's in the element of love, it could be that you need to articulate what it is to this person. You need to give them the green flag, but you also need to assess the environment of what that person is in to do such. If you have outgrown something, it's also saying, what do I address? Is this a work thing? Is it working? What have I outgrown that I'm still doing and I need to resolve? This could be on, again, I think James does tarot. I actually visited his channel yesterday. And I think in the old days, these channeled messages I used to do always were like that. It was where it's always the message is yours and what you do with it is yours. And that's the simplification of how to use these channeled messages. This can come through in a myriad of ways. There is something that needs resolving and you've got to shift it about a bit. I do feel there's an avoidance and there's delays. There's some places that you're also maybe at a financial level with some of your dreams that you're going towards. You could be overcompensating. And so you might have to reduce that back down and be realistic about what that plan of action is going to be, because there could be a reduce to get a dream that you're wanting. There is love here, but again, they're saying that something would need to shift in order for that to move forward. It could be making you tense because you're like, I don't know, I've been patient, I've been critical, I've been looking at this, maybe I'm reading this incorrectly. Something is causing you stress, but it's because you're avoiding it. This could be because of rejection, fear of a person maybe not liking you. Let's have a look. I also feel some gossip coming through. Okay. Okay, what is this guy? I'll pull one card for gossip and I'll leave it there and we'll go on to the next person. But there's an avoidance. And so you need to sit with it and make a decision, remap and replan how you are going to approach it. But don't take too long to do that. Even though we are in Mercury retrograde, it doesn't mean that we permanently, if anything, the pressure points show what is not manageable. And so if it's not manageable now, it won't be manageable when the planet's direct. That's the truth. Have we been in denial? It is not, what do they say? It's not a river, okay, in the aisle. You get my gist. It's like, know what is and what isn't. Okay, so we have Don Scorpio. How are you doing, Don Scorpio? Have you been taking care of yourself? And yes, Scorpio season has been intense, my love. I totally empathise. If I could have climbed under a rock and then I would have done that. But it still would have been there in a problem sense for me to address later. Okay, twins energy towards me or whatever on. Yeah. Let me see what's coming up. I feel a bit anxious today. Okay, they're saying you know them. I don't know why I'm hearing if you don't know me by now. They're saying you know me. You know me. There might have been a special significance to this. I think it's called stars. New me, vibing bright. Yeah, because it feels as though they're saying you deep down know. You really do know, okay? Are you tired of the status quo? 100%. So you're trying to change an attitude, change a vibe. You're trying to use, your past to actually aid you. Sometimes we can simply sometimes we can look to our past and go, oh, there was nothing there I can retrieve. But sometimes it's adequate information because you know the person. Therefore, it's a little bit like a process of elimination. It's like, that didn't work. Oh, that was hit and miss. That maybe did. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're eliminating in order to move forward, but something that you're eliminating, you may return back to. I feel some huge excitement around you. Again, very similar to Char's energy. You have some brand new beginnings in certain areas. And I think because you're tapping into the creativity over giving it's like the sacral chakra and solar plexus. Instead of giving it away, you're like, I'm going to take that back and I'm going to pour it into my creativity. It balances your vibe. They have a lot on their plate. You know what is going on in their life to know what is and what isn't a lot. There's a lot of stress. They do worry about you, but at the same time, I feel you're able to handle high stress. No, I don't think any of us want to, really. They don't want to bring drama towards you. They're not coming towards you unless they're completely clear. It's not that they're not clear on how they feel about you. They're making reference to that's not so. So they're also saying, okay, they're making reference to statements and promises they made to you in the past still apply. Yep. You're protected. You're protected. This is going to happen very quickly. I just get there's a feeling that you may know this is on its way. That's what I'm getting. If you jump out of that funk vibe and you're ready to move forward, you're generally going to manifest communication. I actually feel that this person is quite bored with their life and the way it is, and I think they're ready to come towards you and communicate. So there is a very distinct possibility if you can keep your vibe up. You're so in the neutral zone, you can manifest it. It's very, very close. I would say take that approach. Use the past. Anytime you tell yourself something negative that it's not so, you need to go back to that retrieval of the past and say, who's that old person I am? Who's that true person I am? How can I take myself to that bliss and that high vibe? Because I actually do think this person is coming back. I feel there's communication coming in. It could also be a movement of house. Who do we have next? Cosmic Journey. I hope that helps. Yeah, it is. Look, it's very intense to do. Don't be hard on yourselves this month, all of you. It is intense. I am not saying it's easy, but trust me, all that work you do, it's a little bit like a balloon popping. Once we face it, we're free and it can't define us. So it's by confronting these things that it really can alleviate that. And our new chapters of doors are really coming through, especially with this next moon. Not saying it's not going to be intense. Hey, Cosmic Journey, how are you doing, my love? Yeah, I was reading in the members. I was like, oh, gosh, we've had the highs and lows in there over the Scorpio eclipse either side of it, really. Anywhere to, we call it one flew over the cuckoo's nest, where we're joking and saying crazy things, and then into comedy, and then into very deep and meaningful intellectual conversations about, life, healing, and path. Most welcome, Dale. Okay. Oh, this person's like, I'm going to make a decision. Your TF is wanting to make a major decision. Okay. There's a bit of insecurities of the past coming up. Could it be the karmic and manipulation? Yes, it can be. But some of these moods are, you are determined to succeed. You are going to get your success. You're going to get your outcome. But you're also a bit, you've gone past a point of sacrificial lamb. Okay, what do I mean by that? There's some things you don't have to sacrifice. You can still have your bliss. You can still have your story and say, hey, this is actually what I'm planning. I'm planning this future. I'm, having the strength and the courage to believe in myself. I know that I don't have to sacrifice to make everyone's life happy. That's not what my role is. I can empathize and understand it's what they're going to do. Because to a degree, maybe you were, due to your own personal circumstances, looking at the karmic third party through your karmic third party's eyes many moons ago, and it could have taken a while. But this connection can't be broken between you and twin. It cannot be broken. You have been working with them up to this point, but you also have moved beyond another chapter. Thanks, Star. Not too bad. Plodding along through the Scorpio. Okay, so the sacrifices you feel you need to make, you don't. But you have been. And so that tension point is coming up in the heart chakra. You feel it would be nasty to actually state that you are needing something more. But this can actually usher in the physical movement and the renegotiation of the terms of the contract for that to move ahead. Yes, financially, you know you need money. But the impatience is if that map has not been worked on, you're kind of looking at it like, well, maybe nothing is happening. Okay. The person involved in the karmic situation may have habits. They may have manipulated in the past verbally and then come back to a more balanced state. They are waiting for an outcome at this point. And after that outcome, if the status quo stays the same, then the map needs to be refigured. Okay? I know, right? She got her funky text. I was like, okay, funky text. We should just call her Giggle Glimmer Moderator Queen. What term was that the other day? That you wanted to be called as a divine feminine? There was a term you had. Oh, look, you got the star card as well, the cosmic journey. So you are going to get your star doll, but you're just worried, okay? You need some funky text. So you're worried, but you're like, okay, do I risk it all? Is it going to happen? You've got a lot of good things coming around you at the moment. They ain't going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you. There's a conversation coming. They do know how you feel. They know that this has taken a toll on you, but I feel there's new information coming and I feel it's in relation to the karmic third party. Thank you, Giggle Glimmer, for your moderation. I know it's very late. Thank you for joining us, and I will see those of you in the Members Hub and for the next set of the Twin Flame updates. If you do want the content ahead of the crowd, because we also have the element reads in the members, come through. We also have the Twin Flame super chats for In the Dark with the members. And I better go back and actually turn that off. Otherwise, it'll be there for a while. I always need to thank people, Giggle, and you. What else do we have? So we have the members live. We have the joint connections. We have a lot of things going on. We will be live next week for the joint connection. But if you do want the masculine, feminine, and karmic update a week ahead of the crowd, jump in and join our membership and join our coaching sessions we have. The next one is on Wednesday. I have shared it to the Members Hub of what date it is. I'll see you on the other side.